As we move into our 60s, 70s, and beyond, many of the decisions we once made without a second thought, what to eat, when to rest, how to move, begin to carry more weight. A short walk across the backyard can start to feel like a challenge. A meal that once felt energizing may now leave you feeling sluggish. And perhaps most concerning, changes in strength, balance, or even mental clarity may begin to show up quietly, without warning, until one day they affect your independence. For over 30 years, I've had the privilege of studying aging and longevity, working alongside thousands of older adults across the United States. From small towns in Iowa to senior communities in Arizona, we've observed one universal truth. The biggest predictor of health and independence after 65 isn't your genetics, your medications, or even your income. It's your daily habits, especially what you eat. One question I hear again and again in my work is this: "Doctor, I eat vegetables every day, so why am I still struggling with joint pain, brain fog, or poor balance?" The answer isn't simply whether you eat vegetables. The real question is, which vegetables are you eating? Many people are shocked to learn that certain vegetables, yes, even ones often labeled healthy, can quietly accelerate aging, reduce leg strength, and impair circulation. And that matters because after age 65, falls become the #1 cause of fatal injuries in the United States, accounting for over 32,000 deaths per year, according to the CDC. Falls, the silent threat to aging gracefully. Here's a sobering statistic: 1 in 4 Americans aged 65 or older falls each year. That adds up to more than 36 million falls annually, and 3 million of those result in emergency room visits. What makes this particularly troubling is that many of these falls don't occur during risky activities. They happen during everyday moments: getting up from a chair, walking across the room, stepping out of the shower. And yet most people don't realize that the food on their plate can directly affect the strength in their legs, their ability to balance, and the sharpness of their reflexes. A meal that includes the wrong vegetable can contribute to low-level chronic inflammation, reducing blood flow to the legs, weakening muscles, and even disrupting communication between the brain and the feet. Over time, that can lead to shaky steps, delayed reactions, and an increased risk of falling. The hidden dangers lurking in common vegetables. You might be surprised to learn that some of the most common vegetables in American kitchens, like eggplant, green bell peppers, and white potatoes, contain natural compounds that may not agree with aging bodies. Eggplant, for example, contains solanine, a plant toxin that may trigger inflammation in muscles and joints, particularly in people with arthritis or nerve sensitivity. Green bell peppers, a member of the nightshade family, are high in lectins, proteins that can irritate the gut lining and contribute to chronic inflammation, especially in people with compromised immune systems. White potatoes, while comforting and familiar, cause rapid blood sugar spikes that can damage blood vessels, impair nerve function, and raise the risk of balance problems. In our research at the University of Pittsburgh, we've seen how regular consumption of these vegetables can quietly reduce leg strength, slow reflexes, and contribute to cognitive fog. You may not feel the effects immediately, but over time, they accumulate, and your mobility begins to decline. The good news: you can regain control, one bite at a time. The flip side of this story is a hopeful one. While some vegetables may hasten decline, others have been scientifically proven to support mobility, cognition, and vitality well into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. In fact, studies have shown that simply adding the right vegetables to your plate can improve blood flow to your legs and brain, strengthen bones and prevent fractures, boost memory, mood, and focus, and reduce fall risk by up to 31%. Which vegetables are these powerful allies? You may already know a few of them, but you may not know why they're so effective. Broccoli, for instance, contains sulforaphane, a potent anti-inflammatory compound that protects your arteries, bones, and brain. Spinach is packed with natural nitrates that improve circulation and sharpen mental clarity. And carrots, rich in beta-carotene, support vision, balance, and nerve health, making them essential for fall prevention and longevity. In longitudinal studies with older adults, those who ate even 1 cup of broccoli per day had lower levels of inflammation, CRP, by nearly 18%, retained better bone density, walked up to 0.5 miles per hour faster than those who didn't. Every meal is a vote for strength or struggle. At this stage of life, no change is too small to matter. You don't need a miracle drug or expensive therapy to age well. What you need is knowledge and the willingness to make small, consistent choices that support your body, your brain, and your spirit. You can't turn back time, but you can decide what kind of future you want for yourself and take a meaningful step toward it every single day. So let's dive deeper into this critical conversation. I'll show you 3 vegetables every senior should eat daily to stay strong, steady, and sharp. And I'll walk you through 3 vegetables you should avoid, because even though they seem harmless, they may be quietly undermining your mobility, energy, and independence. Because in the end, your health isn't about restriction. It's about empowerment. It's about choosing foods that love you back, support your journey, and keep you active, independent, and full of life. Are you ready to make every bite count? Let's get started. As we age, the foods we choose impact more than just weight or blood pressure. They shape the quality of our mobility, cognition, and independence. Let's now explore the vegetables that can strengthen your body, protect your mind, and reduce your risk of falling, as well as those that, while common in many kitchens, may quietly chip away at your well-being. 3 vegetables you should eat every day after age 65. 1. Broccoli, the green armor for aging. Gracefully, broccoli is more than a cruciferous vegetable. For seniors, it's a nutritional powerhouse designed by nature to protect the body's core systems. Broccoli is rich in sulforaphane, a compound proven to reduce chronic inflammation, a condition closely linked to cognitive decline, joint degradation, and vascular stiffness. Inflammation is one of the silent drivers of aging, often going undetected until it manifests as pain, memory loss, or poor circulation. In a 2019 review published in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience, sulforaphane was shown to improve antioxidant defenses and reduce neuroinflammation in older adults, potentially protecting against neurodegenerative conditions such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Broccoli is also high in vitamin K, calcium, and antioxidants, all of which support bone density and vascular health, critical for preventing falls and fractures. As bone density decreases with age, even a minor stumble can result in long-term disability. Furthermore, sulforaphane promotes peripheral blood flow, ensuring that your feet and legs receive the oxygen and nutrients they need. This supports better balance, warmth in the limbs, and even reduces complications for those managing type 2 diabetes. Preparation tip: lightly steaming broccoli preserves its sulforaphane content and improves digestibility. Overcooking, especially boiling, destroys many of its key nutrients. 2. Spinach, the leafy green. That powers the brain and muscles. Spinach might look delicate, but it's one of the most effective tools we have to combat age-related cognitive and circulatory decline. This leafy green is high in natural nitrates, which the body converts into nitric oxide, a compound that widens blood vessels and improves circulation. For older adults, this translates into stronger leg muscles, sharper thinking, and faster reflexes. Research from the University of Nebraska Medical Center found that daily spinach consumption led to measurable improvements in walking speed and muscle strength in adults over 65 within just 6 weeks. Spinach is also rich in lutein and folate. These nutrients have been strongly associated with better memory, mental clarity, and processing speed. In fact, one large cohort study from Tufts University found that older adults with higher lutein intake perform significantly better on memory tests than those with lower levels. And let's not forget the eyes. Lutein and zeaxanthin in spinach help protect against age-related macular degeneration, AMD, the leading cause of vision loss among older Americans. According to the National Eye Institute, over 11 million Americans currently live with some form of AMD, and that number is expected to double by 2050. Preparation tip: light sautéing or blending into smoothies preserves spinach's nutrient value. Avoid boiling, which can leach away key vitamins and make spinach harder to digest. 3. Carrots, the vision and balance. Defender carrots are best known for supporting vision, and rightfully so. They're loaded with beta-carotene, which the body converts into vitamin A, a nutrient essential to preserving eyesight and night vision. However, their benefits go far beyond the eyes. Vitamin A and carotenoids also play a role in neuromuscular health, ensuring that the brain's signals to your feet are quick and reliable. This enhances balance, reflexes, and coordination, all critical in reducing fall risk. Carrots also support digestive health thanks to their fiber content and help regulate blood sugar levels, an essential component of metabolic health in older age. Spikes in blood glucose can impair circulation and damage small nerves in the feet and hands, leading to numbness and instability. In a longitudinal analysis of seniors from the Nurses' Health Study, those with higher carotenoid intake were 33% less likely to develop significant vision decline over a 10-year span. Preparation tip: eat them raw, lightly steamed, or blended into smoothies. Carrots retain most of their nutrients in these forms. 3 vegetables seniors should avoid or greatly limit: 1 eggplant. A risky food for joints and mobility, eggplant has long been praised for its fiber and low-calorie content, but it contains solanine, a natural defense compound that may trigger inflammation in sensitive individuals, especially those with arthritis or muscle pain. In seniors, solanine can exacerbate existing joint stiffness, reduce flexibility, and lead to chronic discomfort in the hips and knees, areas critical for walking and posture. Over time, this low-grade inflammation can reduce range of motion and even impair circulation to the legs. While not everyone reacts strongly to solanine, older adults, especially those already dealing with osteoarthritis or nerve sensitivity, may notice increased symptoms after repeated consumption. Bottom line, limit eggplant intake if you experience joint discomfort. Better alternatives include zucchini or cauliflower. 2. Green bell peppers, the silent source of inflammation. Green bell peppers may look harmless, but they're part of the nightshade family, and they contain lectins, proteins that can disrupt the gut lining and promote low-level chronic inflammation in certain individuals. This is particularly relevant for seniors, whose gut barriers and immune defenses are naturally weaker with age. Over time, lectins can interfere with nutrient absorption and trigger systemic inflammation that affects the blood vessels, nerves, and joints. Common symptoms: tingling in the feet, stiffness in the ankles, or balance issues that weren't there before. To make matters worse, green bell peppers have fewer antioxidants than their red, yellow, or orange counterparts, meaning you get less benefit and more potential downside. Bottom line, choose fully ripened bell peppers, red, orange, instead of green, or opt for anti-inflammatory alternatives like cucumbers or celery. 3. White potatoes, comfort food that harms circulation. White potatoes are a staple of the American diet, but unfortunately they rank high on the glycemic index. This means they cause rapid blood sugar spikes, followed by crashes. For seniors, these swings can damage tiny blood vessels in the legs and brain, contributing to numbness, cramping, or cognitive fog. Over time, diets high in high glycemic foods like white potatoes have been linked to atherosclerosis, a hardening of the arteries that restricts blood flow. And with reduced circulation to the lower limbs, even small injuries can become slow to heal, leading to infection or mobility loss. Worse yet, traditional potato recipes often include butter, cream, and salt, which further elevate cardiovascular risk. Bottom line, replace white potatoes with sweet potatoes, turnips, or butternut squash, all of which are richer in fiber and antioxidants and gentler on your blood sugar. As we age, we must approach food not just as fuel, but as medicine. Each vegetable we choose holds the potential to either strengthen or weaken us, especially when it comes to mobility, cognition, and independence. Eat more broccoli, spinach, and carrots to protect your legs, mind, and eyes. Limit or avoid eggplant, green bell peppers, and white potatoes if you want to reduce inflammation and maintain strength and balance. In the final part of this article, we'll explore how small changes in your daily routine can yield big results and how to turn knowledge into action so that you can keep doing the things you love with the people you love for years to come. As we reach our 60s, 70s, and 80s, we begin to understand a powerful truth. Growing older doesn't mean giving up control over our health. It means making better, more intentional choices. And one of the most profound choices we make each day is what we put on our plate. Over the course of this article, we've uncovered some surprising facts. We've seen how vegetables like broccoli, spinach, and carrots can strengthen your legs, sharpen your mind, and preserve your independence. We've also explored how seemingly innocent staples like eggplant, green bell peppers, and white potatoes may be silently contributing to inflammation, impaired circulation, and mobility loss. But here's what I want to leave you with today. Small choices create lasting change. Not overnight, not through perfection, but through steady, thoughtful action, day by day, meal by meal. Why this matters now more than ever. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, by the year 2030, 1 in every 5 Americans will be over the age of 65. That's over 73 million people, each with their own dreams, challenges, and desires to live fully and independently. But here's the concerning reality. Only about 24% of older adults get the recommended amount of vegetables daily, per USDA guidelines. Nearly 40% of Americans over 65 have some form of memory impairment. And more than 80% of seniors have at least one chronic condition that could be improved through better nutrition. These numbers aren't just statistics. They represent our neighbors, our spouses, our siblings. They may represent you, but what they also represent is opportunity. The opportunity to age differently. In my years researching aging and longevity, one theme continues to emerge. Leg strength is one of the most accurate predictors of future independence. Your legs allow you to walk unassisted, climb stairs without fear, drive confidently, engage in social life, shopping, volunteering, caregiving. Prevent falls, the #1 cause of fatal injury among seniors. A Harvard study published in JAMA Internal Medicine found that older adults with the lowest leg strength had more than twice the risk of mobility disability compared to their stronger peers. And the pathway to stronger legs doesn't start at the gym. It starts at the dining table. The foods that fuel your muscles, protect your joints, and preserve circulation are your first line of defense. So how can you take what you've learned and put it into practice? Here are 5 simple science-backed actions you can start this week. 1. Add a cup of steamed broccoli 3 to 4 times a week. Steam it lightly, season it with olive oil and a pinch of garlic. You'll reduce inflammation, support healthy bones, and improve blood flow to your legs and brain. 2. Blend spinach into a morning smoothie or saute it for dinner. 1 cup of spinach per day can dramatically improve nitric oxide levels, supporting clearer thinking and stronger steps. Add it to eggs, soups, or your favorite smoothie. 3. Snack on raw carrots or add them to roasts and soups. Carrots provide beta-carotene to protect your eyes, strengthen neuromuscular coordination, and support stable blood sugar. A handful a day can go a long way. 4. Swap white potatoes for sweet potatoes or butternut squash. You'll reduce blood sugar spikes and give your body a boost of antioxidants, fiber, and slower-burning carbohydrates. Sweet potatoes are rich in potassium and vitamin C, 2 nutrients vital to older adults. 5. Cut back on eggplant and green bell peppers if you have joint pain or inflammation. Not everyone is sensitive to nightshades, but if you notice increased stiffness or tingling in your feet, try removing them for a few weeks and observe how your body responds. You don't need to follow a perfect diet. There's no magic superfood that will turn back the clock. But if you replace even one harmful food with one helpful vegetable, you've already taken a major step forward. In aging research, we call this the accumulative effect. Small improvements, when practiced consistently, lead to fewer falls, better walking speed, lower blood pressure, improved memory, and greater overall life satisfaction. So be patient with yourself. You're not just feeding your body, you're investing in your future mobility, freedom, and confidence. I've had the privilege of working with thousands of older adults across the country, and the most powerful moments often come from the smallest changes. There's Margaret, 73, who began steaming broccoli twice a week and noticed that the numbness in her toes started to fade. There's Carl, 80, who swapped out mashed potatoes for baked sweet potatoes and lowered his A1C from 7.2 to 6.5. And there's Janet, 68, who started a salad for lunch habit and told me, I feel like my brain has fog less this month than in the last 2 years. What these stories share isn't just success. They show that you are never too old to see results. In the end, aging is not something that happens to you. It's something you participate in. And that participation begins with awareness, consistency, and self-respect. When you nourish yourself with intention, you're doing more than protecting your legs or sharpening your vision. You're honoring your story. You're defending your independence. You're preparing to enjoy the life you've worked so hard to build. Because your best years aren't behind you. They're the ones you choose to shape, starting now. If this article resonated with you, I encourage you to take one small step today. Add a new vegetable to your next meal. Share this information with a loved one. Reflect on how your eating habits may be impacting your balance, memory, or vitality. And if you found this information valuable, I'd love to hear from you. What is one thing you've learned that you want to apply starting today? Let's support one another on this journey of vibrant, empowered aging. Because with the right tools and knowledge, your future is not only longer, it can be stronger, brighter, and deeply fulfilling. Thank you for reading, and here's to your health, one bite at a time.